This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
The Forest Ramble mini-match reports.
If the win against Derby in the League Cup earlier was a bit of a steamroller, I think we all knew that this one was going to be a bit more of a contest. Baz, you've just come back from the match. How did you feel after that victory against Derby?
Obviously quite elated that we got the 3 points. Probably we deserved it, but only just. It was definitely much more of a contest than last time round. And
from what I could divine, I think that there's a lot of similarity actually with the 1-0 victory over Derby in the league under Martin O'Neill, in the sense of it was very much a team performance, and Derby also put in a team performance. It was relatively evenly matched in terms of what happened on the pitch, but Forest having, once they took a lead, they didn't, there were a couple of hairy moments, but actually we were good value for the victory having taken the lead.
Absolutely. I'd say, yeah, if you were to put it on balance, I would say we shaded it and deserved the win, but there wasn't very much in between us in this time round. But then again, it was also a typical Derby, which was basically just lots and lots of running and energy and not very much in the way of actual football.
But you can't accuse either team of not putting their all in, can you?
No, absolutely. It was definitely the atmosphere was incredible. The commitment from both sets of players was really, really good. It's exactly what you want to see from a Derby game.
The player who's going to get the finger for the mistake that led to Grabban's goal was probably one of their better players on the day, Jayden Bogle. But that was a result of excellent and clearly well premeditated pressing, not just by Grabban and Amiobi, but by the whole team.
Absolutely. It was definitely our style of play for that game. Was we were going to try and press them quite high up the pitch, which is exactly what we did. One thing we have to say about the goal, the way Grabban took it was absolutely fantastic.
There's never any doubt, was there?
No, but he had so little time to actually react and place it, and he did it perfectly.
But in his post-match interview with Sky, he did say, I had just a minute there to think about what I wanted to do. So that probably says something about his instincts as a finisher.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's what we always said. He's that kind of player. He's a poacher.
And, again, as part of that reflection, might also be worth thinking about the fact that Derby probably had more chances than Forest, but for all the sceptics and the worriers say, well, Forest's expected goal ratio isn't high enough, it doesn't matter because we are doing enough to win matches.
Yeah, and it's worrying, but if you look at the chance to goal ratio we have, it's fantastic because we don't actually create that much, but the ones we do create, Grabban puts them away.
Hello to our listeners in the United States, and thanks for listening to the Forest Ramble. If you are one of the many sports fans who like to place a bet, then check out this offer from MyBookie. This is the premier place to bet on your favourite sports every weekend, whether you are into the NFL, Premier League or European football, hockey or Major League, or any other sports. The best part is, if you join right now, MyBookie will double your first deposit. So if you put in $1,000, they will give you $1,000. That's double your initial deposit that you can use on all your favourite picks. Use the promo code LATEFEES to activate the offer. That's LATEFEES for our US listeners to double your stake. Visit mybookie.ag today to take advantage of this offer and to view the all-important terms and conditions. You play, you win, you get paid.
A couple of moments that had a minor controversy from the referee. The one that everyone's going to talk about is the Tom Lawrence should it have been a red card incident. Obviously, seeing it in real time without the benefit of replays, what was your take on it as it happened?
As it happened, I thought at the time it should have been a red.
I think in terms of maintaining the match as a contest and keeping it in control, actually a yellow was the right decision. If he'd given a red there, then I think the match could have ended up becoming quite violent for the last 10 minutes. Yeah. The argument, of course, is that did Watson and Worrell foul Lawrence in the lead up to that? And if Watson had fouled him, should Watson have had a second yellow? There's a whole argument there. So actually, I think on balance, a yellow was. I can understand why that was a reasonable decision from the ref. However, you won't like the replays. The other moment, which didn't have that much of a bearing on the final result in the end, but probably caused you to stand up and scream a lot at the time. Right towards the end, Lewis Grabban showed amazing strength to hold off, I think it was Bielik, and then he did a little flicked pass to Tiago Silva, who would have been running through, who's still in his own half, but we know that he's fast, and we know that there was no defenders between him and the goal. I bet you were a bit annoyed about that.
Yes, I think the entire ground was on its feet, shouting at the referee for that one. It's difficult for a referee; they have to kind of predict and make a call on it, I guess. What
you don't know is in the replays, the referee very clearly he sort of put his hands out in a conciliatory gesture because he realised as soon as he blew the whistle that Tiago Silva had the ball and was about to run through. Speaking of Tiago Silva, the number 28 today, best match in a Forest shirt, I think.
Absolutely, best I've seen him play. There was one bit where it was in the middle of the second half and the ball was in the centre circle. We were sort of breaking and he did a little drag back and then back heel to another player, I think to Yates.
Yeah.
And it was completely unnecessary, but it just showed how commanding he was in that game.
Yeah, and he'd shown a few good bits of footwork as well a bit earlier on when he was taking on his full back and so on. So he was really on top of his game.
I would say the midfield three, it was one of those games where when they were on their game, all three of them were absolutely magnificent.
Yeah.
Yates really wanted a goal. The way he was bursting forwards, he wasn't really playing as a holding player. It was a 4-1-4-1 for the most part, wasn't it? Silva, obviously, he was at the heart of everything attacking, and then Watson, well, I'll keep saying this about Watson over and over again, he just held everything together.
But Yates was the one providing the legs, which in the absence of, again, it shows, as we've discussed previously, we're missing So and Semedo. So Yates provides, alright, he doesn't carry the ball in the same way as his injured teammates do, but it does add something that we've been lacking in the midfield there, I think.
Yeah. The reaction of the players at the end of the game was, you can just see this is a proper side, a team that really wants to work together and wants to do it for us. The way every single game now, where I sit in the Bridgeford, sort of near the halfway line, Matty Cash, as soon as the final whistle goes, he runs over in front of us because obviously he's been to the touchline on the right hand side, and he runs over in front of us and gives it everything.
Yeah.
Ryan Yates, obviously, it means so much to him. You could see that. And then I was saying, when they were being interviewed by Sky, Joe Worrell and Lewis Grabban, you could, as soon as the interview finished, they just ran away from the interview. They legged it to come over and celebrate with the fans. It just means so much to them. It's really good to see.
And I think as well, Lamouchi understands that, and the words he used before the match and in his post-match interviews shows that he understands how important a win against Derby is. Have you got any words for Lamouchi on his 48th birthday?
Thank you very much.